Okay, so thank you for joining me today for 20 minutes in 2020. As I mentioned before, I think I had my first case of cabin fever because yesterday I constructed a tent on my outdoor balcony and stayed in my tent for 2 hours because I wanted to be outside but didn't want to be outside. So yeah, so I'm really grateful that you guys are here and that we can practice together. And one of the things I wanted to talk really briefly about and to perhaps work with in the next time we meet is the whole notion of containment and container. And there's some pretty popular ways about talking about mindfulness. One of them is your thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky, and the clouds will dissipate or they will move on. That's one common way of describing mindfulness. Another way is to talk about if you have a glass of water and you put 2 tablespoons of salt, that water will get really salty. But if you take the same 2 tablespoons of salt and you put it in, let's say, a lake or in the sea, there's enough spaciousness that the salt is there, but we aren't inundated, let's say, with the saltiness. And I just wanted us to maybe take a minute to think about if there's any big container, let's say, in nature that resonates with you. So, like for me, I really connect with water. So I love going for a walk by the lake when I'm feeling, when I just need to be outside. I love going to the lake. So is there any place in nature that's expansive or anything at all? It doesn't necessarily need to be nature, but any container that's so expansive that you connect with. And what I'd like us to do is to kind of just take a minute to identify that. And what we will do when we start off the meditation is to try to connect with that container and to know that our thoughts are there and our container is expansive and big enough to hold everything, and that our thoughts or any disturbing emotions, we don't need to obliterate them. I like to use that word obliterate because it's a violent word, and sometimes I think when we're dealing with difficult situations, we want to push things away, right? It's like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to feel this. So my use of the word obliteration is very intentional because that actually in a sense causes us additional pain, right? By trying to push things away. So I'd really like us to work with the notion of there's a container that's big enough to hold everything that's going on in your life. And that's one of the things that meditation or mindfulness practice helps us with. It helps with developing that container, with developing that spaciousness, with developing or letting us get in touch with silence so that there is space to process everything that is going on in our lives. Okay, so I'm going to stop blabbing now and I'm going to give you a minute to just think about your container. And also, as you're thinking about your container, whatever that might be, I spoke the last time about when we come to the cushion or come to our seat, we ideally should have some kind of preparation. And it can just be really simple in terms of like, yeah, today I'm sitting today. And how do we approach our seat? So just like how we wouldn't go to bed with our shoes on, because that would be a little weird. I don't think anyone does that. In the same way and that's a kind of preparation before you go to bed, you put on your pajamas, you might read, whatever it might be. In the same way, we take steps, very small steps in terms of coming to the cushion. So go ahead and think of your container and prepare to be on your seat, and then we'll start in like half a minute. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So find yourself in a comfortable position. That can be seated, you could be lying down on the floor, whatever suits you today. You can move your laptop to the side if you don't want to have that constant digital presence right in front of you. Or you can close your eyes, you can keep them open, whatever feels like what you need in the moment. And go ahead and get yourself set up. All right, so we're going to start with our container, whatever you might have chosen, whether that's the sky, whether that's the earth, whether it's water, whether it's air, whatever it may be. And I'd like you to just visualize your container, your very, very expansive container, and just feel yourself in it. Feel how you might feel small, and then slowly stretch yourself to occupy space in your container. Feel yourself growing larger and larger and stronger. And now that as you're expanding, let's connect this sense of expansion with our breath. So we'll just start with, I'll lead you in. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, my breath grows strong. Breathing out, my breath goes deep. Breathing in, my breath grows strong. Breathing out, my breath goes deep. I just want you to connect with your breath. Feel its depth and its spaciousness. And I'll just leave you here now to continue working with your breath and with the awareness that this is building a sense of expansiveness so that we can process everything that life brings to us. All right, so we're starting to come to the end of our time here together. So I'd like you to just savor these last moments of your practice. So just feel yourself stretching ever so gently and becoming more and more open. You can actually do that physically. You might stretch your feet out a little bit, maybe roll your shoulders back, open your chest area, just to have that sense in the body that when we're contracted, we can expand. And that's one of the gifts of this practice, that we are slowly expanding and opening up to the experience of life. Let's just take a few more rounds of breath here, and I'll guide you through. So, a really nice deep inhale, and then exhale. Again, let's inhale and exhale. I just want to end with the thought that the expansiveness that we're cultivating is not just for ourselves, that it extends outwards to those around us as well. So my expansiveness can touch your expansiveness. And so there's that collective sense that we are together, we are able to deal with whatever, comes at us. So go ahead and wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You can open your eyes. And let's just put our hand on our heart area. You can put one hand on your heart and one hand on your abdomen. And here we're just taking a moment to recognize those two streams of vitality that support us throughout the day. So our heartbeat and our breath. Just see if you can feel the presence of both those rhythms, the rhythm of the heart and the rhythm of your breathing. All right. So everyone, thank you for your practice today. And I just, if there's any essence of that spaciousness and expansiveness that you can take into the rest of your workday, feel free to take that along with you.